Good morning. I am about to head to IKEA to get some new bookshelves and they are very much needed. This is the current state of my bookshelves, and I also have all of these bags full of books, either from when I brought them home from uni or just bags that have been full of books because there was no space for them in the first place. I also just have stacks of books everywhere. So yeah. Okay, so I know this currently looks like a mess, but the plan is move all this stuff off here and we're going to put the two sets of drawers next to each other, right next to the bed. We're going to have full size full size Billy, half size Billy. So I need to take all these pictures off and clear this. I forgot I owned this book. I have finished clearing this wall and clearing all the shit that was on the floor. I've only cleared the photos up until where my drawers are because I should also need that space. I'm a little concerned. Cut the length. I could always do one drawer there and one drawer there, I suppose. We'll have to see. But yeah, time to build the bookcases. I will be building them in my kitchen because I don't really have the room on the floor there to be building, so this is what we're going to be building our bookcases. Emptied this shelf so that we can move it. I've decided I'm going to have one full shelf and one half shelf on here with one of my sets of drawers, and then two full shelves and my set of drawers there. However, these two are screwed together, so instead of doing the responsible thing, unscrewing it, moving it, then screwing it back together, I'm now going to have to empty all of this to move both of them at the same time. I literally have nowhere to put any books anymore. Every surface is covered in books. Okay, so all of the bookshelves are assembled and emptied, and I have wiped down these two, which were my original ones. So it's time to get putting the books back onto the shelves. I think I'm going to start off by just like putting them on the generic area I think they're going to be in, because I just need to get them on. And then I can like refine the organisation and figure out if I have space, because I still don't think I do. multiple weeks since I assembled and fully reorganised my bookshelves, and I just haven't updated you guys for a combination of reasons, partly because I spent multiple days just keep on like making random changes to like one shelf because I was kept on not being quite happy with how it turned out, and then just being very busy with work, because when I did get these shelves it was when I'd just come back of holiday. I actually hadn't started back at work yet, and when I did start back at work I've been in a lot and the days I've been off I've just either had other things that needed to be done, or I've just been lazy, to be quite honest. So yeah, I will insert a clip here of the actual full overview, because to be able to stand in front of these shelves right now I've had to move stuff around and I actually can't just smoothly walk far enough back to give you an overview, but I will just give you a quick rundown of what the shelves are looking like. So yeah, I will be doing a full tour at some point. Ignore the pile of Funko boxes. I am in the middle of going through which ones I'm keeping, which ones I'm selling. So the empty boxes are there for putting the ones I'm selling back in, but in the shelf down there is non-fiction. Yeah, I have just noticed as I've been looking at this. What's this? These all came from the works. Or at least these 3 definitely did. No, these 2 definitely did. That might have been Amazon. I'm pretty sure that was the works, but these 2 were both definitely the works. So why are they not the same? They came from the same place. Someone please explain to me. But yeah, while in the process of reorganising all my shelves, I did find some books that I want to get rid of, so I will put a little unhaul at the end of this clip, and anything that I've unhauled I have listed on Vinted, so I'll put a link to my Vinted down below just if you are interested in any of the books, as most of them are unread. But yeah, it was mainly books that I have a double of. I need to do a proper deep unhaul at some point, but I'm too scared. I don't want to. I love all my books. I don't want to get rid of them. Okay, so I actually surprised myself and managed to unhaul some books whilst doing this, and even more surprising, they weren't just books that I have duplicates of, but I will be showing the duplicates first. So first up we have Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. This is the only duplicate where the copy is red, and that is because this is the original copy I ever bought, the original copy that I read, and then they stopped sort of making these covers, and when I got the rest of the series it's not in these covers, and so I did purchase the series in the original covers. Not the original, just in a set of covers that'll match. And I don't feel the need to keep on to this, partly because I already have 2 copies of the whole series because I have a problem. The next book that I'm unhauling because I have a duplicate is The Selection by Kira Cass. So this was just a situation of I got this book ages ago. I'm not sure how long, probably multiple years, like definitely over a year ago. And then the works came out with the whole collection for, I think it was like £15 or £20. Whatever price it was, it worked out cheaper for me to rebuy the whole series than to individually buy each of these separately on like Amazon or at Waterstones or whatever, because it still worked out cheaper per book. The next book is again another duplicate, and it is the Shadowhunters Codex by Cassandra Clare, which is obviously part of the Mortal Instruments universe, and the only reason I have a duplicate of this is because when I bought the box set of the editions of City of Bones, the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices that have the spines that all match up, It came with this, but I already owned the hardback of this, so it's just another situation of it coming straight into my collection and then going straight out again, because I don't need 2 copies of this book when neither of them is a special edition or different cover. It's just one's paperback, one's hardback. Next is Shatter Me by Tara Moffey. Again, same situation as the selection. I got this book individually and then got the whole series from the works because it works out cheaper. I haven't read this or the selection yet. I just committed to getting the whole series because it was in the works. But yeah, the final sort of one that is a duplicate is Hooked by Emily McIntyre. Is that, yeah, McIntyre. I literally bought the series today from the works. I wasn't even meant to be going shopping. I went into work for a meeting and then after that decided let's go to the works, and I ended up spending £30. So yeah, benefit, this gets included in the Unhaul because I took so long to make this video, but it's the same situation as Shatter Me, same situation as Selection. Have I read it? No, but I still committed to buying the whole series. These next 2 books are the true last duplicates. I didn't sort of count it in those because they're not like brand new or read only once. They are 2 editions of Order of the Phoenix. Now this is because I have been collecting the original covers of Harry Potter for the past couple of years, just every time I go into a charity shop seeing if they have them. Where I go to uni there is an Oxfam Books and I have been collecting them. Now, thoughts of the author who shall not be named aside, Harry Potter has been a big part of my life and I don't feel ashamed to continue collecting these when I'm getting them secondhand. This is just a case of these editions were both like not so great, but I just bought them because they were there, and then I was always like, if a better edition comes along I'll just get it. They were like £2.99 each. It's not the end of the world. So like this one, like the spine is really faded and there's a bit of writing on the cover, but like other than that they're in pretty good condition. And then this one, it just has some like black marks along here and the spine is like slightly faded, but again that is the only issue. Now we are getting into the books that aren't duplicates, that either, have I read any of them? Oh yeah, that they're either books that I've read and just didn't really enjoy that much, or I've lost interest. The first book is Hello Life by Marcus Butler. Now, if you're around my age, you probably were obsessed with the Brick Row at some point in your life, or at least one member of the Brick Row. I was a pretty obsessed, is the only word to use, fan. I went to all their book signings. The ones that I didn't go to book signings to, I pre-ordered to get signed copies. I was obsessed. And I was at first sort of thinking, I'm not going to get rid of any of these books because even though they're not really something I'm interested in anymore, they hold a lot of memories for me. But I was like, I don't need to keep every single one. So I sort of went through this one. Marcus was not my favourite of the group. And I don't even know if I ever actually read this book, but I just never am going to read it. There's no special memories connected to it. I'm sure there's still people who would be interested in this. Next we have Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Bowley, I'm not sure. This is probably the most recent purchase that is being unhauled without being read. I just realised that I got excited by sprayed edges and a signed by the author sticker, but I don't think I'm ever going to get to this book, and it will make someone really excited to be able to get a signed copy of a book they're really interested in, or maybe they've already read it and it's a book they love, you know. And I've got plenty of signed books. I don't need to keep this, and I really do not see myself reading it anytime soon. I don't even know what it's about. Next we have Showstopper by Hayley Barker. This is a book that I got at like a Scholastic book fair when they came around to school. So I've had this for a good 4 years at least. I've since not even looked at the blurb. It's just another one I don't see myself reading. I'm not interested in it, and if I'm not even interested enough to read the synopsis, am I going to read the whole book ever? So the next book is Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. Now this was a case of I sort of got excited by the hype when this first came out. A lot of people were talking about it, and I think again it was at like the Scholastic Book Fair, and I was just like, oh my god, loads of people like this, I'm gonna buy it. But again, it just doesn't like pull any interest for me, and I've not heard loads of people talking about it since, so I don't even know like if it is that good or whether it was an initial hype. And again, I just have so many other books that I want to read. Next we have Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. I feel like it was very popular in like 2015. When did this book even come out? 2013. I think it was very popular, like 2015 time. But I was never even that interested in the synopsis when it was talked about. I just bought it because everyone was talking about it and everyone was obsessed with Rainbow Rowell, and Fangirl was one of her most talked about books. But I wasn't even interested in it then, and since I've got so many more books and so many books that I am like excited to read. Again, I'm just not going to read this book ever. The last book that I'm unhauling that I haven't read yet is The List by Siobhan Vivian. Again, this is just a situation of I don't even know what it's about, but it doesn't really pull that much interest. And you know, I don't not read YA anymore, but when I do read YA, like I don't want just like this is a story about life in high school books kind of thing, and I get the vibe this is what that is. The last two books are books that I have read and I either gave like 2 or 3 stars, and I just don't need them in my life. I know I'm never going to reread them and I don't love them, so I don't care for them to be on my shelves. First is Judge by Alex Gino. This I think is about, was it about a trans kid? Yeah, so it's about a trans girl and it's aimed at like small children. I think it has actually since been renamed because George is the character's dead name, but yeah, I just didn't find it that good. I can't remember anything about the book, which isn't unusual for me. I have a terrible memory when it comes to plots, but I don't remember why I didn't like it. I don't remember specifically what I disliked by it. I just remember not being that impressed by it. Finally, we have A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. This was another book that everyone was raving about, and I bought it and I read it and I just found it so boring. It was a situation where I did not understand the hype, and maybe it was because like I read this years ago. The people I watched at the time were in their 20s and I was in high school, so maybe it was a situation of not being like the right audience, but I don't think it's an adult book. I think it's aimed at like teens, and I just remember finding it so boring. I can't remember what happens, so I can't tell you what particularly was boring about it, and that doesn't mean it's a bad book because a lot of people loved this book. It just was not for me. But I will give Patrick Ness another go with some of his other work because he has a lot of popular books, but this just wasn't it for me. That is it for this bookshelf reorganisation and little unhaul that I wasn't originally planning on doing. Thanks for watching this video. If you did enjoy, it would mean a lot to me if you gave it a like and subscribed. If you have any videos that you would like to see, any particular trends that you enjoy, that you just like watching anyone's video of it in like the book community, then please do leave a comment down below. All my socials will be linked there as well. And yeah.